What I want to first off, I want to start with just kind of giving you a view of kind of like standard seatbelt. I never say there's anything wrong in jiu-jitsu as long as you understand the consequences of it, but I want to show you why I don't like using standard seatbelt and why I prefer to go to this back position, which I jokingly call it Doris backpack attack. Okay, so Aaron, if I can use you. So I want to demonstrate something. Aaron stands in front of me, right? I'm taller than Aaron, right? You can see there's a few inches. When we sit down on the ground and I get into standard back position for seatbelt, we're about the same height. Pretty weird, right? And when I go in for standard seatbelt, my elbow on this side is kind of high, right? My hands are in the center of his body. So it's very easy for him to bring his hands in to control mine and keep his elbows tight. And this makes it really hard to control. Okay, his spine is straight. This is a key concept for jiu-jitsu. If he has a straight spine, he's strong, right? If you deadlift or you lift weights, when your spine is straight, you're strong as fuck, right? When you squat, deadlift, all those things. When you start getting curvature, that's when it's horrible. So he has that ability like to push back on me, right? Control my arms, roll off to the side, and he's out, okay? Now, if you're super strong, right, and your arms, you can lock him in. Like if you're like the black belt slayer, Big Mike over there, you may have the strength to do that, right? But I want to make sure that these concepts work for everybody, from white belt to black belt, from 100 pounds to 300 pounds. So what I want you to do is, without using your arms, right? I'm just going to show you. So I'm in my standard position. I'm not going to use my arms other than to stabilize. Get away. Pretty easy, right? Okay, because this is what's keeping him in the back control position are my legs. As soon as he can break my arms free, he's gone. Right? Rob was showing that with his class. What I like to do is get into this position. Now my hands are free. My legs are locking him in, right? It's almost like I'm triangling his body. Okay, so now when he tries to escape, it's a lot harder, right? Not to say that he can't break out, but it's a lot harder. So it allows me now to play around with my hands, right? My legs are in the main trap. My hands now are gonna steer, look for upper body control, get his head, and ultimately, I'm looking for this. Either outside the head or with it locked in. Now when I have this, actually when I have this, I can let my legs go because I have such good upper body control with the Kimura lock. So what I want you to do with your training partner, okay, just come in here, just sit with your leg. If you want to cross them, do whatever, can't use your hands. And you go 1, 2, 3, go. See how quickly they can escape your legs versus here. Go to the side, side. Here, and key here, keep the bottom leg on the bottom, right? The one that's coming over the arm, so that I'm keeping all that pressure on his arm. I don't want to come here. See how it lifts? It's going to give him an opportunity to get out. Sometimes I'll do that when I want to trick him into a triangle, but I want to keep it here. Just lean back, use your hands, go. And just see how easy it is for them to escape. I'm going to give you like 30 seconds to do this. This is one of those tests that it will prove the theory very quickly, which is the position of higher control. Okay? You guys want to clap? Who wants to clap this morning? I know. Okay, go. Let's go. That's it. Yes. I'll talk about how we get into this position towards the end. I want to show you some finer things about the control. Okay, so as I come in with the position, I want Aaron on his side so that my body is away from him, pushing back, okay? And I'm gonna use the Kimura Trap to keep him hugged in so that he can't roll away. My legs, one foot's gonna be over the hip, locking. If your opponent's like really big, your partner's really big and you can't cross your feet, that's fine, okay? But one thing we need to be able to do is we're gonna always compress the body when we start setting up our submissions with our knees. But if you can cross it over, you should be able to. The leg that's over the arm or that's always coming over the shoulder, I always want that one to be on the bottom so that I'm minimizing the space for his arm. Unless I'm gonna bait him to bring that arm through, and I'm gonna start setting up my triangles, okay? So I'm here, and I'm sitting kind of at an angle. I don't wanna be out here because this is actually gonna limit the space, so I wanna sit right on the shoulder. Okay, and if you've done classes with me before, or if you've watched some of my videos, I talk about power line. For me, power line is I'm going from shoulder to opposing hip, or hip to opposing shoulder. And I want to control here. So it gives me, like I'm stapling his body down in position. So I want to be here, I'm gonna bring my legs in, and I'm sitting up proud. Okay, I'm sitting up proud. So now we're gonna start with the Kimura Trap with the head wrap. And I'm in here, and I'll pull it in tight. So I flare my knees out, so I'm controlling hip. I'm stapling that arm to the ground. I'm pulling this in tight, and I'm pressing forward. So now when he starts to try to struggle and move, it's tough. Like this isn't requiring a lot of strength for me to do this, okay? So I get into this position, super, super tight. And I'll show you guys, the guys that have gis, I'll show you the submission variations here. What's important about this is I want Aaron's head to be resting on my radial bone, which is connected to my leg, and I want my shoulder over. So like a guillotine, I don't want to be pulling my thumb into my chest. I want to pull my thumb into my shoulder. So I'm going to use this crushing motion, okay, to be in here and put that pressure. So right off submission number one we're going to do is just pretend, you know, if I was going to do a collar choke, right? If you haven't learned this before, you never take this hand and reach the collar, because what I'm doing, I'm opening it up. So I like to flare my hand here first. So I've got good chin control. If I have the gi, I'm going to feed it in here. But I want to be in this position so that my radial bone is fitting here. My hand curves perfectly around the throat. So I'm not crushing his trach. I'm just going to gable grip. Okay, see how his head's starting to turn? My shoulder's pressing in, gable grip, and I have my choke, okay? If they wiggle out of it, then it's gonna come on their jawline, and that's gonna be a jaw crush. But I wanna get it, this is why I flare my hand out, because I will get his head in the right position. I know I'm on the neck, right? Very easy connection for me. Palm to palm gable grip. Make sure that shoulder's in here, and then pull in and squeeze, okay? Super, super, super fast, tight submission. Okay, so it's like I'm doing a guillotine, right? Here, don't do this, because if I do this, there's nothing. Get it in here, okay, their little toes start going like that, that's awesome. Okay, move over this way so you guys can see. So when I'm underneath here, right, you can let go of this. I always obviously like to use this type of grip to control, right? Or if it's the gi, right? You know, I can hold on to the gi, control it. But I want my thumb, I like to flare that to make sure that my thumb's right underneath the chin. If I were to switch my hand the other way, I'd have a chin strap, right? We talked about this the other day, and I'll talk about it when you don't have the control. So I flare here so that my shoulder comes in behind his head. Palm to palm gable grip, right? Thumbs to the outside. Think about taking that thumb and rotating your wrist to come towards your shoulder. For the top. Okay? You go slow burn and get this, or you go fast. Depends on how much you like your training partner. I always say when your training partner, do it slow, burn so you understand the control of it and you don't hurt them in a tournament. Right? That $3 trophy mat, the Facebook post you can get in the podium with, that's worth the amount of suffering. Okay? Does that make sense? Just make sure when you're doing this that I'm not pulling here. I'm pulling in here like a guillotine. So driving with my shoulder and my chest. Okay, I'm not relying on my arm strength. I'm pulling in here. Okay? Make sense? All right, let's try. So I'll talk about two things. First, I'll talk about if, let's say I'm here and I'm doing this and I lose this arm. Okay? So usually what I'll do is I'll chin strap just to make sure I have a high level of control. We talked about this the other day. So if I lose the arm, if I'm here like this, Aaron can start to wiggle, get out, and he grabs. I chin strap. So now when he's going to dig my hand, get it back. But I can also block his arm, break it, or come in to finish it. So if you lose it, if this arm's out here, this isn't gonna hold him for very long. So I will chin strap. Okay, remember, we can chin strap. Let's learn from wrestling. Chin straps are great, especially in no gi. This is a great position, completely legal. You can do anything. So then I can either fight to get the Kimura Trap back, or I'm gonna dig in here and I'm gonna bring it back. And I'll either threaten to start to break his arm, or I go back to the choke. So if you are here and you're setting this up, and you have someone that this is not working on, okay? I wanna get the reaction out of them. I'm gonna pull the arm. Look, I still keep control. I can still go with that chin strap and I pinch my legs. I like to go with my legs straight out. So I almost get like what I was teaching, that choke, but it's pressure. I'm getting him compressed. Now I lean back. I like going underneath the arm if I can, but I'm always breaking it over my hip. If you're going back to a break, and let's say you go all the way back and they've got crazy flexibility in there and they can't do it, take your hand, jam it in under. Right? Jam it, make the wedge. Tight, and then you get your break. This is always gonna work, right? This is always gonna work. If you get the under the arm one, it's always gonna work. But if you find out you're going back, or even if you can't cut the angle, and you're back here like this going, I can't break his arm, I can't get the hips up, guarantee you, you're gonna get it now. Okay, that's a free tip. Oh, doesn't ain't much go back. Okay. All right, so I'm here, and I have this, right? I'm going, and for some reason, I lose it. Chin strap, okay? Chin strap and hold it. Go in here. Don't get into this hand fight here. Go in and dig that elbow, right? I have that break if I want it, or I can set this back up. If I'm gonna go for the arm bar, keep the chin strap. Easy to break from here, but if you lose it, I always let it ride inside my elbow, okay? Inside here, I don't let the forearm move out of that way so I get extension. Actually, when you do this, like you'll feel like I'm pushing with my legs, him away, and I'm pulling. Some people feel this in their chest and their shoulder, and will tap him it. And I come back and I'll break it over my hip. If that's not working, C-clamp it, drive your hand underneath, and you get the wedge to break, okay? Questions? Need to see it again? You guys okay with it? One more time. From this angle? Right angle. How's that up, you guys? So we're here, and I have this. Okay, if for whatever reason, I lose this arm, chin strap. Okay, this is gonna keep him in. So instead of fighting for it, I can fight for it, but if I can't, it's always easier to peel this away. So right away, I have my arm bar. Okay, or I can block that arm and come back in for the sub. Okay, I can go back that. If I can't get that, or I'm here and I just can't get back and reconnect, I'm gonna pinch, hold on to that till I get back here. Try to break it over here. If I can't get that, hold it and pull. Tension. Let it up a little bit. Drive that forearm underneath. Right? And I got the break. Okay? Once people get onto this, like wedging your arm or your leg underneath that elbow, arm bars are literally everywhere. Okay? Just like Jay was showing with those shin locks, all I have to do is get something underneath, control that shoulder, control that wrist, and get something underneath that elbow, and I'm gonna break it, okay? So don't frustrate yourself that you're here like, I can't get the arm, they got flexibility, maybe your belly's too big and you can't get that, jam that arm underneath, okay? Let's give that one a try. So, if you get to this position, there's always an arm bar, right? There's always gonna be an arm bar. When you've got a Kimura or you have a triangle, there's always an arm bar. So always remember that. You can't finish a choker or the shoulder crank, you always have the arm bar there for you as an option. Here, want to come back in for a sec. Okay, so once again, we're talking here. For whatever reason, it slips out, or I'm going to show you how I can get into this position from the Kimura Trap, which most times has my hand to the outside, okay, which is fine, because I can always try to recapture this if I want to, or I'm here. Okay, but it's very easy to set up my arm bars from there. But I like choking people because no matter how big and strong they are, It's really hard to fight a choke. When the blood's gone, the blood's gone, right? There are people, if you guys compete, right, or you watch stuff, they will let something break, right, to win. Those are scary fucking people, right? And if you ever, and God forbid, if you ever actually have to use this stuff to save your life, right? I don't want to piss them off by breaking something and make them mad, right? I want to choke the shit out of them so they're unconscious so I can get up and I can run away, okay? So there's two nice ways to set up triangle chokes, okay? Once again, really good control, okay? I can always break an arm, but it also gives me the opportunity to choke them out, okay? So either from here or from here. I like doing this one come from the chin strap if I'm having an issue kind of controlling this arm. All I do is I reach down and I grab this shin. Okay, I'm gonna fall to my side, pull this across. The nice thing about the chin strap, it allows me to get this up super tight. Okay, leg comes over top, comes in behind. Boom. Okay, now, yeah, Aaron likes to go to sleep when I choke. I might be able to get the triangle choke here, but see his arm's not in the ideal condition and I want to really close that space. So I come up and I hook his arm and I pull the shoulder straight back. Now there's a shoulder lock here, right, if you want it, or now I can press for the choke. Or I can just sit here, hang out, dude, settle the fuck down, right? Don't fight it, right? Look at his coach. I got time on the clock. I'm up by 12 points. I'll count down 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and I'll finish it. But it gives me a high level of control. There's very little he can do. He's not gonna submit me from here. It's gonna be hard for me to get out from someplace. So if I can get this triangle, it's literally one of the hardest submissions for people to escape from because they're virtually kind of on their back, on their side, and I'm on top of them. And I can always let go and come back, okay? So when I'm here, okay, what I'll do is I'll grab that chin strap because I wanna pull him up and I grab my shin here, right? What do you think his reaction's gonna be? He's gonna try to roll away from me, right? Thank you. Comes up tight, hook it, come back in around. Grab that, pull that up tight, hold on to it however you like. Now I have that ability to squeeze, finish my triangle choke. Okay? This one's a tight one, right? It's tight and it he's got nowhere to go, right? Or actually he flips around and tries to struggle, he'll kind of drop himself tighter and tighter and tighter. Let's circle this way. Focus here. So I'm in my position, right? Or if you're a really nasty knee, I'll start putting bow and arrow choke on and I'll use that to assist. While they're thinking I'm gonna go down here, I'm coming here and I'm pulling it. That's real mean. That's almost too mean for me. I'm not sure I do that. Maybe to Mike, because he's so fucking big. I'm here, chin strap. Grab your foot, fall to your side. See how I still have them in nice wedge? Secure. Don't go after this arm first. Lock this up. Then I can come up and pull it and hold on to it however I like. Nice kitty, right? If you're a dirty wrist locker, you can mess them up from here, right? The wrist is there. Then I'm just going to bring my heel to my ass, squeeze my knees, and I'm getting the tap. Right? I'm going to get the tap. It's a nice controlled position again. You can sit there, you can hang out. You don't have to finish the submission if you want. You can watch them struggle, see how they're gonna do stuff. You can finish with the shoulder lock, wrist lock, or you can choke them up. Yep.
Is there a problem with the one before that? You were putting his forearm and your forearm in the back of his head. Instead of reaching over again to do the rear triangle, forcing his head into your triangle, is there a problem with it that way?
No, there's never any. I mean, this is the way that I like to do it. If you've got a way that works for you and makes sense for you.
I was inspired. So.
Yeah, if you have a different way to feed into it, by all means, go do it, right? I just find, for me, when I'm here, either here or here, right? I'll even come in, because it's easy to get the chin strap enough to hold this and pull him in, right? Sometimes I'll do it without the chin strap, but it's just, the chin strap's just nice. Because he's trying to get away, You're not getting away from him. It's a super great control. But a lot of jiu-jitsu, you won't see jiu-jitsu guys. You see wrestlers do it, catch wrestlers do it, right? Do it. It's completely legal. It's going to keep control and keep them in that position. Okay? Yep.
Can you finish it without bringing the arm up?
You can. Yeah, I could be in here, but if he bears down and he's strong, it's gonna be really hard for me to finish it. I need to bring this up, so now that his shoulder drops into the carotid artery, and there's nothing stopping. If I try doing this with Mike, there's no way. He's gonna pop my leg open, right? And then I'm gonna have to fish in and come back. So get here, lock it up, chill, try to move. I'll get it. I'm gonna get it. It's such a strong control position that if he's trying to hide that arm, go ahead. He's gonna have to disengage and use those hands to try to open up my triangle. Try to roll over and get out, okay? This to me, in my experience, is like the most powerful triangle you can get into because it's really, really, really tough for them to get out of. And it's super easy for me to just sit there. And if he wants to roll around, we can roll around all day, right? He's gonna take me with it and eventually that arm's gonna come up and I'm gonna finish it, okay? So quick one more time. So we're here, right? From here or from here, doesn't matter. Chin strap. Or from here, digging in around. I just need enough to control so when I open it up, I have good points of control. Hook it in. Always bring this in. Don't leave it here where now you can hug this, right? Now you get into this bullshit, right? This is gonna be tough, right? Hide it, right? I can stay here all day long. Right? Yeah, see? It'll just thank you. Thank you. Tap him on the forehead. And now I'm up here. Now I know I can finish it. Okay? Be very careful, slow burn when you put this choke on. This one is tight. It's a tight triangle. Okay? Let's give it a try. And I'll show you a triangle from the other side. Okay. So in all of this with the body, so Aaron just lays on his side. I talked about this with the Kimura Trap. I want to be here, right? The Kimura Trap and the backpack are the exact same position except my legs are over, right? I want to be on this shoulder so that my body is going like a shoulder towards his hip. It's not going to work here because I'm too far away from the head. And when I do the triangle, I want to be here, but to try to control him now, I'm too far away from his hips. So as I sit in on this, I'm right in. Like his shoulder blade is right in where my groin is. So his shoulder, if I were to put his arm straight up, it's going straight up my chest, right here. It's not over here. I'm not way over. I want to sit right in here where I have that control. So my knees hitting his hip, right? I got this leg stapling down here. And just like I was doing when I talked about that, I can lay this heavy inside. That's why this works well, because I still have this control. Okay, so you want to be comfortable in here playing. So I can grab legs, I can grab arms, I have access to the head. So I'm kind of right at that shoulder. So if your partner puts their arms straight up, I'm right on it, right? If I was a stripper, that's my pole I'm dancing on. Okay, and I'm gonna rotate all around this. Can't be too much, you can't be too far towards the hips. We're over here. So I should almost call it like the sling bag, right? Rather than backpack, because I'm like a sling bag on him here, okay? So this is probably the easiest triangle to get into, right? Because I don't have to do much movement, right? I can control him here. But what'll happen sometimes is as I'm trying to set up, I either get in here or I'm getting here, right? I leave a little bit of space, right? He knows if he tries to go forward, he's dragging my whole body weight. So they will try to pull in here. So I cross this leg over, grab it. Now, let's turn around this mirror. I call this the short leg triangle because I'm actually choking him with the bottom part of my leg. I'm not trying to go all the way in unless he turns into that. If he's gonna stay on the side, I want the bottom part of my Achilles. Once again, I'm gonna hold on to this arm because I always have the option to break. Pull it in, come in top, squeeze. Now, if I'm here and he continues to turn, then I'll set it up for regular triangle, okay? So it's kind of a fine detail, but if you lock him in here with this and you flex, it's a pretty strong part of your body, okay? That's why I always say when you're doing triangles, flex your feet because it either causes your hamstrings to go stiff or it causes your Achilles to go stiff. So I call it the short leg because I'm using it on the short part of my leg. Okay, one more time. So I'm here, so like maybe I'm getting a little overzealous with my arm bar, but see how nicely it feeds in? I can go, fuck you, you thought I was gonna break your arm? I can finish it right here, or I usually like to let them come in a little bit and lock it, and I bring my foot right to the floor, right? And then I can kind of hip out, and I can sit here. Once again, I have that arm break, or pop with a triangle choke. Okay? So, another reason why it's important to have the top foot, this foot, on top, because if I'm like this and he turns into me, I have to extract my leg in order for the choke to work. When I'm here, watch as Aaron turns in. It's right there. It's right there. I can catch him like this, or I can let him fully turn in. I don't care. Okay, but there's two ways to get the triangle choke. Either he's deep in the pit of my knee, right, which becomes more hamstring kind of choke, like a standard one, or I can still choke him here with my Achilles. Doesn't matter, right? It just depends on how much movement they want to get. But this is like super, super easy, but it's important why this leg stays on top. So it doesn't matter if I'm here, or I'm here. It's usually when I'm going back for the armbar, they want to turn in, lock it. Still have that armbar break. Let's grab this one. Down. So here, I'm going back to the armbar. He sits up. Get up there. Okay, and I'll like this. And if I feel like, oh, I don't have it, then I'll let him try to come up, grab his arm, and not choking him up. Okay? Don't let them get to their knees. Because if they get to their knees, now they're gonna be able to generate power, and they might start stacking. If that happens, break their arm. Right? You're not getting the choke, break the arm. Okay? You always have that option. Remember, always triangle. Number one, I think triangle is a guard. It is the upper body half guard, right? I have the shoulder and the arm versus the hip and the leg. I can always break that arm, either from a straight arm lock or an omoplata, right? I always have that option, okay? So don't burn your legs out. Don't sacrifice the position by trying to get the choke and then stacking the break out of it. Bust that arm. And if you're going for the arm break, they're gonna have to react to it, and then maybe you're gonna get the choke and set it up. Okay, so one more time, really, really slow. Okay, just so you see, I'm not even gonna use my hands on this. I wanna show you the placement of your feet. As he turns in, slide your hips over. It's already there. Boom. Okay? These are my two favorite ways to set up triangles. Right? They're super, 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 super easy. And they work on the defense. The proper defense to the position forces them into the triangle choke. Okay? That's the beauty of jiu-jitsu. I could put you like, how do you escape? Sometimes you get into a deep hole, it's really hard to get out. The more you try to get out, the more dirt's coming in. This is one of those situations. Okay? So you can get here. I know I always have the arm, shoulder, elbow, wrist lock, but I also have two options for triangle chokes. Okay? So let's give that a win. Work both of them, right? Figure out which one works well for you, right? I think this is the easiest one to get into, but more and more and more as I've been rolling the last 6 months, I'm getting into the other one quicker because people are trying to roll to defend the triangle or trying the armbar. So I actually get my foot over there before they even start to defend. I kick it over and I get that submission. Okay, let's give that a try. We've got about 10 minutes left, so I want to leave a little bit of time open for, I want to show you guys here a couple options to get into this position. And then if we got a couple minutes for Q&A, and then I'll be here for the open mat too if you have any questions. So this one makes sense, kind of the mechanisms for it. If you find when you're rolling over like someone's laying on your leg, just pop your hip out, let them fall to the ground, right? There's very easy adjustments, little adjustments that you have to make. But you shut the fan off. Thanks. Hello? So if you do find like they're landing on you, you've got that control. Just stick your hip back and let them drop into position. So let's talk about how I can get there. So I'm going to show you the way that I do it most often. So you lay on the other side from the Kimura Trap, right? I talked about that on Monday, and I want to set it up. Hopefully, it's fresh in your minds. So I have my Kimura Trap. I'm in this position. So I got kind of two options. We talked about this. I'm going to sit back. So look, I'm in that position. I'm doing my pigeon, right? Sit out, pulling this arm back, fire this one over, pull him up. See how quickly I can go right in that submission? I can just hook over the leg, and now I'm here and I can play. Okay? But I can go right into that triangle choke from that position. Okay? And that's the beauty of it. Or if he's not letting me have it, I can get to it. Okay? So one more time. If you can get this wrap position here too quick, this works well. But usually when I'm starting from Kimura Trap, it's because I'm passing the guard, right? I'm coming up and putting that pressure, and I'm trapping this arm. Okay? This is the one where I'm gonna pull this way because I wanna be in that line position. I'm coming in, I'm pulling him back, right? You can see right now, this is where I get this most of the time. They start to turn into me, and I hit it. They don't turn into me, then I just wipe the leg over, and I'm in here. Okay, does that make sense? Pretty simple. But what's nice about this, you can hit that triangle choke really fast. Okay? You can hit it really fast. The other way that I get it from here, okay, you're back down, your side. So I have my Kimura Trap. I'm going in that teabag position, pushing his head out, right? And he's being very strong with the defense. Okay? This is where I'm gonna pop up and I drop that leg on the head. Now, and I bring this one over. Now you're going, well, HUD, his head, switch, feeling like his head's in the way, right? Well, all I'm gonna do is make sure that I can get the leg here. And actually, it doesn't matter if I trap this arm or not at this point. What I do is people don't like this here, so I let this come up. I just wipe it over. I can triangle it, finish it, or go, okay, I just want to get back into this position. Okay, I'll move up. I know he wants to get his head free, right? Because he thinks I get my head free, I'm out. I'm gonna start defending that armbar. So I won't go for the armbar. I'll let the head slide out, and it's up and over. Okay, so just turn to the side here. This way. So we're here. I come in, boom, pop up, drop. Bring this leg over. And then I just go, okay, you want to get out? Fine. And I'm done. Okay? Make sense? I'm going to give you one more. Whichever one you remember, do it, is from standard back control. So from standard back control, I come in with my seatbelt, I pull this shoulder in. This hand goes in deep. So it's already there if I want to set up the choke, but it's coming towards his armpit because I don't want it in the center where both hands have access. I want it here, this elbow up high. So if he's digging for it, oh, he just puts that arm there, hook it over, and away I play. Okay? So one more time. This is quick. Hopefully you get your cameras. Quinn will put this video up. I'm here. I always leave space to pull him into the pocket, and I'm over here because I'll choke him out here if I can. As he's playing with that, I just walk him around. Okay? And then I'll just play with that until I get it. See, he's holding onto my arm right now to keep him in place. Thank you. When he thinks about that now, like, oh shit, I made a mistake, he lets go of that hand, chin trap, set it up, choke him up. Okay? Those are 3 options. I did it quick. You guys have 5 minutes to play with that. Figure out how to get there. Those are the ways that I get there. Figure out what works for you, and play with whatever submission comes to mind. If it's the arm bar, if it's a wrist lock, if it's a choke, if it's a triangle, just play with it now for the next 5 minutes. Right? I hope you can see like the advantage that you can get from being in that, what I call backpack position. As I said, if you want gi stuff, all the submissions that come with gi from chokes, there is my video from camp last year. There's a video with this no gi from Iceland 2019. And I also have a BJJ Fanatics video on backpack attack as well. So if you want to go really, really deep into it, you check out the Globetrotter stuff, right? So if you didn't film this, you have access to a gi and a no gi version of this with different options. But I hope that you see at this point, it allows my legs to be strong to control, right? I'm triangling his body. He's got to unlock it. It gives me a lot of opportunity to either choke him or to do upper body submissions, okay? If you have questions, like if they're fresh in your mind right now, I'll head over there for open mat. If you guys want to go over a few things, let me know. Or if you got to think about it and something comes up later in the day or tomorrow, please come ask me. I'm more than happy to help you guys out with that. Other than that, we can just get a quick photo, and then it'll be open mat time.